Clark, and this is Lombardi's Bar.
This is one of my favorite podcasts to do.
I'm just, blessed and thankful to be a part of this podcast. It's a great podcast, it's a great interview.
Maybe I know that you guys obviously being the best Packers podcast that's out there.
I had Malort this weekend, so I'm not tasting anything.
Oh, good.
He did.
God.
He did. That was fantastic.
Because they said, "Did you ever try Malort?" And I said, "No." And then they said, "Do you want to take a shot of Malort?" I said, "No," but I did.
Wait, who said
It's called peer pressure. Yeah.
Yeah. I tried to get in a high honors English class once, and they called my parents and were like, "Hey, just tell him he can't do it."
It shows. It really shows.
I hate you guys so much.
I'm going to throw these two guys into the screen so that if I die, they can carry on the legacy of crap that is this show.
Here we are, everybody. Just as Comb Over nailed, we are at the crossroads, just like Bone Thugs. Yes, hello to everybody in the chat. Making sure that, for posterity, it's noted that I was right. I'm not sure what I was right about. What was I right about? The fact that the offensive line was terrible, that I didn't want to play the Bears, that I'm a coward. I don't know. Whatever it was. Not happy to be right because the Packers season over, lost to the Bears. I'm gonna have to sit with that fucking taste in our mouth for a whole off season. Yeah, it sucks, but we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about where we see this team going from this point on. And to do that, let's bring in these two guys here. It's Todd Varney. It's Jimmy Christensen. Guys, how are we doing? How did you experience Saturday night?
Before we get there,
yes.
and how are you? Because I didn't realize this pre-show. It looks like you've taken this loss. Usually you've got yourself done up a little bit for the show. We're in a gray tee with holes in it. We got tiles falling off the wall behind us.
Where's the hole in your shirt?
Collar underneath the cord.
Where?
There's a hole up there.
This is great. I honestly didn't know that hole existed. How the hell did you see that?
I got great eyes. I'm with Ed on this one. Are you okay? Have you humaned since Saturday night?
I think this is
unshowered.
I'm not. I think this is literally just because I'm not wearing a hat.
Okay, that
if
might
I
be
had
it
a hat
too.
on, I think it would just. Usually, I'm wearing the hat, but I got a haircut this weekend. I wanted to show off my hair, and honestly, I the hat that I usually have at my desk is gone, and that's why I don't have a hat on.
Okay. I saw that comment from Ed, and I was like, "Yeah, hold on. Is Dan okay? Have you left the house since Saturday? Are things good? Are Kelsey and the kids still with you? Where are you at? Let's do a sanity check there."
I'm doing a lot better than most of my family. Not Kelsey and the kids. They don't give a fuck about what happened on Saturday. The rest of the Kotnick family, though, in a spiral, and I was somehow the most grounded of them, which really scared the hell out of me. I don't know. I just kind of saw it happening, and I just accept I don't know, someone you see death coming and you just welcome it with an open embrace. My season died with Micah Parsons' ACL.
Well, so do the Packers apparently. So they didn't win a game since. So you were right there with them. Yeah, probably.
It is this season. I'm gonna figure out how to use Wikipedia, and I'm gonna note that in the 2025 Green Bay Packers Wikipedia entry that Micah Parsons ACL tear due to the fact Jimmy Christensen bought his jersey when everyone told him not to.
I don't have a yeah. Right now, you guys might be right. So
Yeah.
usually
don't
I'll
think there's
defend
a-
myself.
I don't think there's a might about it.
Well,
How
the
does-
good news is I can't do that to him again next year. So I won't buy his jersey twice. I promise.
Why the fuck are we tempting? Like,
I knocked.
yes, Clayton Tune. Get your Clayton Tune jerseys. I don't think Clayton Tune's mom has a Clayton Tune jersey at this point.
Yeah.
I don't know, where does Saturday rank in terms of like most difficult losses? Rashawn Gary, get that clearance deal on Packer Pro Shop. How does it compare? How does this compare to other big letdowns you guys have gone through?
I don't know if this is top 5 for me. Like, it's one of those where this game went exactly how the season went,
Mm-hmm.
exactly how we saw it play out. I had a friend call me before the game asking me about where I was with it. He was looking to put some money on the Packers, and I was like, I wouldn't. I could see this being a good goal. I could see this being a blowout either way. Like, I don't know. I don't like how it is. He texted me at halftime and was like, I didn't listen to you. I put a light wager on this, feeling pretty good about it. And I said, just wait.
Yeah.
And I texted him in the fourth quarter and said, see what I mean? It's just like, how many times did we see this happen this year? And against a team that we knew that this was their MO. Like 18 points, they're not put away at that point. We've seen them. This is a team that's been coming back over and over again all season long. You knew they weren't just going to go away. You had to stay on them, and they didn't.
Yeah, this one was more so frustrating just because it's the Bears. Like playoff wise,
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be a Super Bowl team. So like looking back, obviously the worst one for me is the Seahawks game. Nothing's going to top that. And then even looking at the 49ers game a few years ago with Rodgers, the Tampa Bay game with those are all worse just because it's you actually had Super Bowl dreams on those teams. This was just like you want to beat your rival. But to Todd's point too, after the first half, I did not have confidence. Even when we missed that field goal, I was like, I know it was a long. We made it at first. They iced them. I was like, if we miss this is not going to be good. You need every point against this team. And then once the 3-and-out started happening, I was like, yep, this is not gonna be good. The worst part about it is like after the 3-and-outs, and then the third drive wasn't a 3-and-out, but we punted pretty quickly. I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a Bears game that they probably squeak out. Then Matthew Golden got the hopes up again. I was like, oh, maybe we righted the ship. We're good. We might be able to pull it out, and then straight downhill from there. So yeah, no, I did not feel, even being up big at half, you just don't feel comfortable with the Bears team. They've been pulling wins out of their ass in the second half, and they're a good team. I give them credit, but it was a game that pissed me off, but it doesn't rank that high in the all-time disappointments.
Well, and to be fair, I don't know that I've been comfortable with a 21-3 lead against any opponent in 15 years.
Yeah.
Like that. We've seen this team decide. I mean, that was, McCarthy's big flaw towards the end of his tenure was, well, we have a lead at halftime. Let's start milking the clock. And to see that come out in this game, and we'll get into that a little bit more later, but to see it come out like that, and it's like, I get it, guys got to execute, but also you got to find ways to be successful when guys aren't executing. And if there's a specific play that they can't execute, probably don't call it on first and second down for 4 or 5 straight drives.
Yeah, Jimmy, I agree with you. I think what pissed me off the most about this game was the fact that it was the Bears. Yeah. And I think the really shitty part about it is you kind of have to admit the Bears are good. Like this wasn't a fluky, like this wasn't like losing to Cleveland where it was just a rock fight and you made a couple of mistakes and let a worse team beat you. The Bears are a good team, and the Bears are going to be good for a little bit now, and that's something we kind of have to just get used to. Like it's been quite a while since the Packers had a true division rival, like a team that could challenge them every single year consistently. It's been a while. And the fact that it was the Bears makes it even worse. And I just think, like you said, like it's the fact that there was no expectations coming into this game. The only expectation was, let's beat the Bears, let's end their season, and then we'll take our, lethal injection next week and just be sent off into the pasture. That's all I wanted. All those other ones that you mentioned, you're right on the precipice of a second Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl. And yeah, those all really sucked.
I think the most annoying part with the Bears, though, to your point of them being good, is the Lions the last couple of years, even with their success, you knew it wasn't like, you knew the coaching staff you knew Ben Johnson was going to leave. They had all these big contracts coming up.
Jared Goff is old. Yeah.
Jared Goff is older, and he's not really that, like, he's a good system quarterback. The big contracts were coming. With the Bears team, it's like, Ben Johnson's not going to leave. He calls the offense. He's a head coach. He showed he can be a head coach now. Caleb Williams is really good at times. At other times, not very good. So it's like, but like, you expect that to improve in his second year with Ben Johnson next year. And it's just, that's the part to where you're like, it's been a while since we've had a real division like opponent you have to worry about. And yeah, Bears definitely fit that, because I know Monty put on Twitter, like, it's not a guarantee they take this next step in like the coming seasons. We saw that with the Packers after beating the Cowboys. We didn't really take the big next step the following year, but just them being in a position to do that is a really shitty thing. Like, I mean, it's good for football because it's fun to hate another team this much again and get amped up for these games. But I miss the times where the Bears were just an easy 2 wins a year. Bringing back Mitch Trubisky.
So talking about they are a much better team than they have been in years past. I did no looking into this fact at all. I'm taking.
I love that we still call it a fact, though. Yeah. I haven't looked into it at all. It's a fact.
I'm taking Dan's buddy Greg's word as fact. He's a journalist. He's a big J Journo guy. I trust that he looked into this and it's correct. The Bears didn't take an offensive snap in 3 games against the Packers this year. Didn't take an offensive snap with the lead. Like, it's not like they're that, like, just some great team. They're not. I don't think they're a better team than the Packers. I think if we have our 2 best offensive linemen, I think if we have Tucker Kraft, I think if we have Micah Parsons and our best interior linemen in this game, I think it's a completely different story. I think this is a Super Bowl contending team. Without those 5 guys, this is a totally different situation. And it is what it is. I mean, I think, like you said, there's no guarantee they take the next step next year. There's no guarantee that we go backwards. Like, I think Jordan Love's a damn good quarterback. We saw that again this year. Like, he's done nothing but improve. I hope at this point we look for some health and we look for a little bit more toughness, and next year's a different year. Oh, and like 90% new coaching staff and 100% new cornerback room.
Anything else for you?
I'll come up with something. I'll let you know.
All right. Let's jump into to buy around here. Talk about this game a little bit more in the end of the season. Jimmy, who would you like to buy around for?
Yeah, I'm a player that we might not see take another snap for the Packers, just based on what he's probably going to get in free agency. I'm going to buy around for Romeo Doubs. If this is his last game for the Packers, he went out with a bang. He had a touchdown in the game. He's played well all season. There's always a time a little bit, like, especially as Christian Watson came back, he wasn't as as involved, which you would expect. You're getting your best wide receiver back, and then Jaden Reed comes. But playoff Dobbs, man, he shows up, and even in the couple games where Malik Willis was quarterback, he played big for him. And I felt like this year too. Last year was kind of that weird. He missed a game, got suspended. He wasn't really, I don't know. This season would seem different with him. He seemed more animated in interviews, even on the field. You can see him getting pumped up and hyped up after every big catch. We saw that in this Bears game as well. So yeah, shout out to Romeo Dobbs. Probably the last we'll see you in the Packers, but go get your money and we'll retire your Guardian cap in the rafters next to all the Hall of Fame players.
Yeah, Romeo. It's going to be hard not to root for Romeo Dobbs wherever he goes. He was such a great person, like Matt noted there. He was an awesome interview when we had him on here.
He's the only, and you might have been going into the stand. He's the only player that showed up early. Like,
yeah.
We recorded that midday, and I remember jumping in to make sure that the studio was set and like all the graphics were here, and he was sitting here, and I had to text you guys. It was like, he is here already. Hurry up. And you guys were at work and had to get to your lunch break and set it up. And I was like, I'll just keep him chatting till you. And I think even once you guys got there, I think I talked to him for 30 minutes. You guys were probably there for 15, 20 of it, that we just sat around, and then we're like, so should we start the interview? And he was like, okay, yeah, if you guys want to, whatever. We can just keep hanging if you want. That's fine. Yeah. So
he was cool as hell.
Yeah, definitely one of the nicer guys. Like you said, Dan, it's going to be hard not to root for him. There's a few teams he could go to that would make me not root for him, but he'll always, him and his Guardian cap will always hold a special place.
Well, maybe I won't root for him in certain places, but just like when Jamal Williams was in Detroit, still love seeing the guy do things.
Yeah.
So it's hard not to see him. And I mean, not to discount how good of a person he is and how he's kind of just a consummate Packer when he's here. I love what we're saying was, and he's still technically on the team for a couple more weeks. But I mean, he has kind of been the guy ever since Devontae left. It's been kind of like, if you need to go somewhere or get something, Romeo Dobbs was kind of the guy. Didn't always live up to that every single time, but he was always kind of the go-to playmaker if you needed something done. He's consistently here. Stays healthy. He's on the field. He does everything you need him to do. He's exactly what you want out of a wide receiver, man. And it's going to suck. That one's going to suck.
I will say the one thing with him is there's not, he doesn't have a skill that he does better than any of the other pass catchers. No. I think all of the guys that we have one thing, Watson's the best deep ball guy, right? Golden has the best hands. I think Wicks is your best route runner. Kraft is probably your best possession guy, and Reed's your best yak or gadget guy. And then, what does Romeo do that's better than any of those guys? Collectively, he can do all of that. I think he's the only one that can collectively, he's number 2 in all of those categories. But I don't know that there's anything he does the best.
He's definitely last place in ball security, because every time he catches the ball and just holds it out with one hand in front of him, that gives me a heart attack. But also with him too, it's not a knock on him, because he's going to be a guy that's going to go get 12, 13 million a year and be a serviceable starter. But I feel right now you've seen his ceiling too, to where you look at every other receiver on the team and none of them have hit their ceiling. Golden, by far Golden. Watson, we're starting to see where he can get to this year, especially when he came back from that ACL. Reed, I feel like you get spurts where he has good games, but yeah, I think everyone else, you're still waiting for them to kind of take that jump to the ceiling. I think Dobbs right now, you're seeing what a peak Dobbs looks like. And to Todd's point exactly, where it's just he's a jack of all trades, but you have someone in the wide receiver room that can do someone in the wide receiver room and one player in the defensive back room that can do everything that he can on the offense.
Yeah. I'll go next because it kind of melds nicely with Jimmy's there. I'm going to buy a round for Matthew Golden. Finally breaking through the glass ceiling there and getting into the end zone. And I think what I really loved the most about it was it wasn't a gadget play. It wasn't a, little, how do I want to say this? Like every touchdown is good, but this wasn't like the Savion Williams one, the first Savion Williams touchdown, where it's clearly drawn up to be like this little dinky kind of pseudo wide receiver screen and get your gadget guy in play. Great. And it worked. Matthew Golden got the ball, I think it like only a yard past the line of scrimmage, if he was even past the line of scrimmage, and made, I think, one or two guys miss, had to jump over like bodies on the ground, and earned every yard to get into the end zone. That is such a metaphor for like his season so far, and I think it's a great launch pad for him into next year. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, Jay has a good point here. It was a screen. Like it was a wide receiver.
Was it actually a screen?
Yes.
He had two blockers ahead of him.
But it was one, I know what you mean, because it was one where he got the ball and it was like he looked up and caught a glimpse of the end zone through the bodies and was like, nothing. This is my one opportunity to score a touchdown this year. Nothing is going to stop me. And not like he just went for it. So yeah, it was a sick play. Nice to see him earn it. It definitely gave me a false sense of security that we were still maybe going to win that game.
Yep. I think my favorite thing with him too is he, weirdly for a rookie, he's been reliable when he's on the field with Love, when Love gets in like a scramble situation. Because one of his catches that he turned up a little bit on the sideline was he was supposed to go do like an in route and saw Love scrambling and definitely pushed off a little bit legally and broke it back out to the outside for Love to hit him on a completion. It's just like, those are things you usually don't see from a rookie. Like you would expect that from a Dobbs or a Christian Watson, but just seeing him do that. And then on that play, that was all just Matthew Golden refusing to go this entire season. And I guess postseason without a touchdown. So I was happy. I was happy he got in there. My sister called me and was like, "Hey, I don't want to talk to you. I'm too stressed, but I just want to tell you I'm so happy for him." And then hung up on me. I was like, "Okay." I'm glad Matthew Golden brought you joy.
Yeah, interesting. That'll be a little tidbit in Matthew Golden's, I assume, Hall of Fame career. It's his first TD comes in a playoff game. Todd, who would you like to buy a round for?
It's hard, but I'm going to say Ben Johnson. Shout out to one great coach, and I think we can all agree, as fun as the rivalry is when the Bears are garbage, it's nice to have like a little back and forth. I might feel differently if they stay good for a while, but I appreciate a coach coming out, not acting like a coach and just saying and doing all like fuck the Packers and then being questioned about it and doubling down on it. And like, it's for a guy that like came from Detroit, you can see it as a Packers organization and as a fan, like that's clearly where the target has been for this entire division is on the Packers. And it started with Dan Campbell, how much he made that team focus on beating the Packers. That was all that mattered to Detroit for a few years while they were on the come up, was beat the Packers. And for Ben to then get to Chicago and go, oh no, these guys really hate the Packers. Like, got it. And to stick with it, I'll buy him one now, and we'll have fun watching them lose next week.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, everything you said. He's made the rivalry even more fun now. I hope whoever our coach is next season, whether it is LaFleur, it's getting a little iffy now that this extension talk is taking this long to get figured out. But whichever coach it is, I want them to match the energy. If we beat the Bears, I want to be hearing "fuck the Bears" in the locker room, at the press conference. I don't care, especially if shots are being fired even before the season. Get petty back. If you lose, at least you said some shit beforehand. Like people were giving Jeff Hafley a hard time, and Bears took it personal. Like I think it was Byard called it out of hearing a DC say like, "No, we'll be back next week." Like, who cares? Have that confidence enough in your team to be like, "No, fuck this. We're gonna talk shit back to you guys." Yeah. So I want to see that on the floor next year if he's back, or if we get someone else. I want that energy matched.
Yeah, I mean, Todd, I agree with you in terms of the doubling down on it, because it's one thing to say it in the locker room when you don't think cameras are around, you're not expecting it to get caught. And how many times do we see people in professional sports where they say something off the cuff and it's so endearing because it's a human moment, and it's like, that's your emotion, that's who you are, that's awesome. And then they'll come back and backtrack and be like, well, that's, what like you said, like I need to be more professional, this is still, a league, whatever. Like, no, like, that's who you are. You fucking hate us. I want to see, I don't want you to come out and offer a handshake and then have a dagger behind your back. Like, come out here with a broken bottle and let's fucking fight this out in the alley, man.
Yeah,
it makes it sweeter too when you beat them.
Yep.
Exactly. One thing I'll say on all of this, the fact that I can't bring in a bag bigger than my, like, a wallet.
I know what you're going to say, and I thought the same thing.
And there are multiple jackasses walking into Soldier Field with metal blades, basically, and hunks of cheese. What are we doing? What are we doing?
My first thought was, how'd you get that through a metal detector?
According to him, he just walked through and no alarms went off. Cool. Which really makes me nervous about going. And I say all of that knowing that when I was at Lambeau in 2008, the game that the Packers beat the Lions to go 0-16, I sat next to a man who everybody called Packer Dave. And he had a 2-foot long summer sausage and a huge hunk of cheese. And every time they scored a touchdown, he pulled out a hunting knife and hawked off hunks of cheese and gave it to everybody around him. And then if for field goals, you got a piece of summer sausage. He's got this huge fucking hunting knife. Like, this is post 9/11. We are still in Iraq. Like, what are we doing?
We haven't forgot.
We haven't forgot. Osama didn't ruin that for us.
Fun fact: Jimmy is now the proud owner of that sausage knife.
Yeah, that's the one I use in memory of Packer Dave.
Shout out Packer Dave.
Shout out.
Let's jump into pay the tab here. I'll start off here. I mean, it's still going to be Matt LaFleur in perpetuity until he wins a Super Bowl. But overall, the big thing here is Ed policy. Whether you decide to keep LaFleur, don't keep LaFleur, whatever. I think the biggest question is what's the future of the next 4 years look like, right? If Matt LaFleur is head coach, who are you bringing in to support around him? There's been a lot of scuttlebutt recently about the way that they handle a lot of the position coaches. Does that change under Ed policy? How does the restructuring of the power structure work? Because that's been a topic of, going back to, Matt reports to Brian reports to Ed. However, the next 4 years shakes out squarely on Ed Policy. This is Ed Policy's legacy in the making here. So, Ed, time to get to work.
Yeah, it's a big moment for him. I think, like, hey, Mark, thanks for leaving me in this spot, my first offseason in charge, to have to make these decisions. And I think realistically, it's probably, if you're Ed Policy, how you want it to be. You get to make that decision right now at the start, instead of being either handcuffed to these guys. If Mark Murphy would have said, here's 5-year extension for you and Goody, have fun, Matt. And then Ed's got to make a decision there. This gives him the flexibility to make his mind up and have his choice. I want to jump to your in perpetuity pick there with Matt LaFleur, because going into this game, I didn't think it was going to have an impact one way or the other on Matt LaFleur. I thought he would be back. I'm choosing to believe still he's going to be back. But as it started to fall apart there in the fourth quarter, I started to think, like, at this point, this does impact bringing him back. And I don't know that that's the right move, because it was something that we've seen over and over and over again from this team this year specifically, but throughout Matt's tenure. And it just seems to be one of those things that's never changing. And there's a couple of things with Matt LaFleur, and one of them is, if my best friend were to talk about my team the way that Robert Saleh did, my goal, my primary focus is to make that a non-true statement moving forward. Like, if you tell me my team's a bunch of pussies and we don't have it, that's not how we're going to play anymore. Like, we're changing that. And that hasn't changed. And so I think that's something with LaFleur. Like, if you're bringing him back, that's where, okay, we're bringing you back on the conditions that you're going to let us pick the adults that are going to be in the room. Because not that an offensive line coach can't become a good offensive coordinator, but again, the loyalty to LaFleur and LaFleur's loyalty to his guys, how much pushback is there? How many disagreements? When Matt LaFleur starts being conservative early in the third quarter, is anybody on that staff with a headset going, hey, Matt, don't do this shit again? So maybe bringing in an OC, somebody with head coaching experience. I mean, we saw the difference that it made with the defense, having somebody, I know it was a college head coach, but somebody that ran an organization, ran a program from the top. And you didn't have to worry about the defense anymore as far as the day-to-day stuff. I think having somebody on the offense come in so that either A, Matt can focus on play calling and game management a little bit more throughout the week and then into the game, or somebody that can take over play calling maybe, or be in that position at least to help out and take over some game management responsibility. Like, if the plan is to sign LaFleur and say run it back, that's not the right answer.
There has to be a big change. If they end up keeping LaFleur, a lot of position coaches and people under him need to be fired and bring new people in. Because we can't keep having these collapses, these dumb like Todd, you texted about it, how they had a timeout, came out and still got a delay of game. Like,
I knew going into that timeout that was going to happen. Like, it shouldn't be a feeling with, what is this, LaFleur's 7th year? You've got a quarterback in his 5th, 6th year. Like, I know he's only been starting a few, but like,
yeah,
to call a timeout and for a fan to go, they're going to get called for a delay of game coming out of this. And then they do. And you're like, and then you burn another timeout because you only have 10 guys on the field because you can't sub properly. Like, it's the shit like that you just go, hey, again, like I said, there need to be more adults in the room.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting to see. OC has to be a big one. they got to get to your point, someone that can just help, whether it is just you're the disciplined guy in the team and get everyone just listening and doing the small things correctly. And you can let LaFleur focus on play scheming and doing all that stuff. But yeah, something big has to shift, and they got to hurry up with this decision, because if they do fire him, a lot of coaching options are going to be gone. We also have to worry about what's going to happen if Hafley leaves. Montgomery has a head coaching or a DC interview with the Cowboys now too, so that might be another person on the defensive staff. It's going to be an interesting couple weeks for the Packers.
I would say, to Comover's point there about if you're looking for a full staff turnover, why keep the head coach? Because at the end of the day, Matt LaFleur is a good offensive mind. Like I've been critical of how he handles himself as a head coach and decisions that he makes, and I think we've all kind of made some points about how he fucks up some of the head coaching things. But Mina Kimes had a good point on her podcast this week about like Matt LaFleur is kind of the coach that everybody is looking for, a guy that brings stability to your quarterback and your offense. And yeah, like some of these other things aren't working, and that can be grounds for getting rid of them. But I don't think you throw out, it's hard to throw out that strength when you could fix a lot of these issues, I think, with stronger position coaches, stronger people underneath Matt LaFleur that can hopefully help, move things along. Like I went back and I looked 2010, they won the Super Bowl. Their coaching staff, you had Dom Capers at defensive coordinator, former head coach, and then on the offensive staff, you had Joe Philbin and Ben McAdoo, who went on and got head coaching jobs very soon after that. Did that pan out for them? No, but it was enough experience, and it was enough, they showed enough that teams wanted to bring them on. There was something in that culture there that that coaching staff, had. So I think Matt LaFleur can still do this. I'm of the opinion, I've given all the keys and the reins to Ed Policy, as I said here in the Pay the Tab. Make whatever decision you think is best, but fucking stick with it and commit to it 100%. Todd, who would you like to have Pay the Tab this week?
Brandon McAnus.
I was going to say, I need you to say it as you wrote it in.
Yeah. Is that not how it's spelled?
No, I thought I didn't know if you were just going to go McManus.
No, that's not his name. His name is McAnus.
Okay. Yeah.
I know I said last week, like, I don't put a missed kick on special teams. Like, I don't put that as a special teams error. I'm not going to make a group or the coach wear that one. I will excuse the one going into halftime. Sucks to see him get iced when nobody gets iced anymore. Windy conditions, sure. 55-yarder. Yep, I'll give you that one. The extra point and then another missed field goal, like, just at that point, dude, hang it up, go home. Fucking try not to sexually assault anybody in the offseason.
I literally I messaged a coworker and they're like, how do you feel about the game? And I said, I now believe the accuser and I think they should reopen the case. He didn't find it funny. I did, but yeah.
Yeah, Emma, absolutely right. And that's why I always listen to women. I believe victims from day one. So,
and I don't know why Todd.
I don't know why Jimmy wasn't.
Yeah, I didn't know all the details. I had to look into it. So
I had doing your own research.
I had a joke I was going to say, but it's not. I can't. So let's just move
on. I mean, I'm with Justin. I was ready to get rid of McManus after the Arizona game. You got Haverisk that can kicked the longest field goal in team history, and wasn't hurt and wasn't old and was slightly cheaper. But we stuck with the guy with a shady little past and cost multiple games. So yeah, I'll be very happy to see Brandon McManus leave. Which who knows if that'll actually happen, because he's got still 3 years left on his deal.
Cool.
2
Great.
years.
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
He's gonna be so good next year.
Anyway,
Bounce back.
sorry,
Bounce back.
I just read the private chat. So,
Yeah.
Jimmy, who would you like to have pay the tab?
Yeah, I'm another probably last time in a Packer uniform, but Rasheed Walker. Just really bad time to play probably one of your worst games.
Mhm.
Could have picked a better time. And like, yeah, a lot of the offensive line, especially after the second half, or when the second half started, it just seemed like the line had no idea what to do. A lot of issues. There's that play where I forgot, even that perfect shot to, not perfect, but really good shot to Watson. Watson even admitted if he kept full speed, he probably had a chance to come down with, which would have been the go-ahead score in the fourth quarter, that final drive. Love was getting pressured then. It's just the second half, dude. Like, he had no time. At one point, we had to throw a ball to a 6-off. We had to throw it to Kennard because he had pressure in his face right away. LaFleur even mentioned it. Like, they were doing some things in the second half. When we go under center, they bring in the edges to make it difficult to run. Then they just could not pass block. And it was an abysmal performance. And I was positive Rasheed Walker is not going to be on the team next year, but I wanted to ask you guys, with Tom's injury being that patellar tendon, it's not a full tear, but Justice Mosqueda put that article out to where that's actually probably one of the worst injuries you can have. Like, there's only like a 55% return rate on that, to where playing at kind of the form they were before. Do you think because of that injury, there's maybe a world we have Rasheed Walker back, even if it is just a depth piece, and still give it to Morgan, or is he for sure off this team?
I mean,
I think it all depends on money.
yeah, based on the way he played, they might be able to afford him. If he has a good postseason, like, he's probably going to get a decent contract somewhere else. If he's affordable, yeah, bring him back. I mean, he's not a Pro Bowl caliber left tackle, but he's a left tackle with good experience and pretty damn serviceable for a couple of years. Like, if he ends up being a depth piece, then okay, great. Teach him how to play right tackle, let him swing around, and go from there. I think Iowa Joe says it, like, Morgan's the left tackle. Start that process, and then go from there. But if Walker's affordable, then there's nothing wrong with having an extra left tackle.
Yeah, I didn't know with this injury if they don't. Yeah, however it turns out with Tom, because we've seen Morgan, he's played well at right tackle too. So even if it's something to where you have Walker there at left and Morgan at right tackle, if Tom's not able to return back to form, or what that is. But that's when I saw that injury's a pretty shitty one to have, that's where I was like, oh, that's our best offensive lineman, and we're losing our second best offensive lineman in Elton Jenkins. So this team's gonna look so fucking different next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the offensive line scares me.
Yeah.
that scares the hell out of me, because I mean, like, think about when we came into this year, we were talking about this offensive line of being one of the strong points here, because we thought Elton Jenkins would naturally transition into center. It's your best offensive lineman, transition him into center, and it'll be such an upgrade from Josh Myers. And then Rasheed Walker and Zach Tom on the corners, and then you've got the big flashy free agent signing in Banks at left guard, and it's like, great, we'll figure it out from here. And every single one of them disappointed this year. It was just so bad. Steno. Yeah, I think that should be one of the after Rich Bisaccia. I think that might be the first one. I'm ready to go. Well, I guess I'd like to see here from Mr. Matt Pickett if these bar bets are officially official, because this is our 5th year doing this. I don't know how many times I've come in first or come in second. I just know I don't think I've ever fucking come in third.
I know how many times I've come in third, and it's all of them.
Not this year.
Up until this point.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
while the Packers may not have had a week, personally, I showed the fuck out.
Yeah.
4 for 4 on my bar bets for the week. So a nice 20-point spike to jump in front of Jimmy on that one. You fucking loser.
Yeah. And unlike you, I also did terrible. So just like the Packers. And I went down quite a bit. Yeah, it was not a good showing this year.
The problem that comes out of this with Jimmy finishing last in the bar bets is he has no shame. And so it's going to be really hard to find a way to humiliate him publicly, privately, wherever. Like the best one by far was Todd having to go to training camp in the Bears jersey. Jimmy would Pooh Bear that. He would wear just a Bears jersey and nothing else. So it's really hard to find a way to punish Jimmy here. But congratulations to myself for winning the bar bets. We talk about Iowa Joe bringing up the hat. Look, I've already made my claim that he was not officially on the roster at the end of the season. And so you can litigate that in the courts for fucking years. I'll drag this on before I eat the hat. That's for damn sure. No, Edwin, see, I think Jimmy would love to do an open mic.
No, I would not. I mean, yeah, I would. That's not
the problem. Like most open mics, you only get like a 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Yeah, exactly.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
Todd wants me to be like lashed like Jesus before being crucified. That's not enough punishment. I don't trust you, Todd.
That's because you still owe me a 10K in a full Vikings.
I've done. Yeah. I did because
I let you out because I respected the sanctity of your marriage.
But you saw that I was willing to get that butt tattoo. You just also heard my wife very not happy with me being willing to get that butt tattoo.
Yeah, and honestly, if I would have known that it wasn't going to win me any brownie points with her and she was just going to start referring to me as pal, I probably would have went ahead with it. I showed compassion in that moment.
You did.
And
you did.
And I shouldn't have.
No. I still am shocked she called you
pal.
pal. Yeah, thanks, pal. What a sick
cracking open a beer with my pal.
Yeah, and you were nice. You told her like happy birthday or something.
Yeah, I said happy birthday, Des, and she said thanks, pal.
Yeah, she's fucked up, dude.
Yeah, it was cold.
It's why you guys work together, Jimmy. All right, guys. Well, I mean, this is the end. I know we're gonna do a kind of a wrap up show next week. Probably do. I imagine we'll do our next iteration of the Lombardi Awards, where Todd always excels.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why are we doing that? Let's just we don't have to put it out there. Next week we can just give it to Todd, and then we can do our normal show.
There's other awards. You know, you don't stop giving out MVP just because LeBron gets MVP every year. Like, you still have other awards, you know. I'm sure I don't remember what's on there, but I'm sure there's a good January 6th joke that'll get thrown out there, so everyone will love that.
Yeah, I mean, if you can find the ballot, Dan, as well as the password to the Twitter account, That'd be great because I haven't seen that since I updated my phone.
I'll do that once I get Twitter.
It's in one of our conversations, but I can't find it because new phone.
All right, I'll look for it. I'll figure it out for you.
Thanks, guys.
But we will be back next week for our season wrap up. Hopefully by that time, we know who the head coach of the Packers is going to be next year. So we'll have that to talk about. But either way, like I said, we'll be back here next week, Wednesday, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Thank you to everybody in the chat for coming by, talking with us. Make sure you're following the show at Lombardi's Bar over on Twitter. Once eventually Todd gets the password, we'll send out the ballot for our Lombardi's awards. For producer Matt, for Jimmy, for Todd, I'm your bartender Dan saying cheers. As always, go Pack Go.